A very warm welcome also in English to everyone. We have very fascinating and interesting topic today. It's about secret of consciousness, the game of life. And there will be a question and answer session at the end of the presentation. So feel happy to write your questions in the chat box, either in Finnish or in English, and we will take them up then later. The microphones will be muted throughout the session. And who is our presenter today? He is Prashant Kakoday, a real Finn fan, should I say, a Finland fan, a frequent visitor to our country. I asked Prashant beginning of this session that how many times has he visited Finland? And he said 50, over 50 times. Yes, 50 times over that. And he has even tried skiing in Finland. No doubt he was a talent. Prashant is a talent in many ways. He is a doctor and surgeon by his profession. And he has this unique quality and skill to combine the Western kind of science-based knowledge with spirituality. And so whenever he has a chance and time to share his jewels of knowledge with us, we are ever so happy to hear them. So once again, welcome to everyone. Welcome especially Prashant, our lecturer today. And we thank him already beforehand. And the floor is yours, Prashant. Welcome.
Thank you. And so nice to connect with Finland again. And I'm certainly waiting for the snow to come and to be back in the winter of Finland. And I see the names. Some of the names are familiar and some are I'm meeting for the first time. And very welcome to come in the camera. Normally, I encourage people to interact, to type your messages, and if you got any questions, they will be passed on to me. Is that okay? They type the questions and messages as we go along, and someone can read them to me if it is okay for you. Since it is at a distance, it is good for us to come in camera and be more interactive. So it doesn't appear like we are at a distance and not, into our own little world, but we are interacting. Also good for the speakers to see the faces and expressions, interaction. If you agree with me, I want to know. The subject of today is connected with the game of life. When we see our brain and function of the brain, there are certain circuits in the brain. Just like if you go to some theater in a large hall that can hold many people, from the electrical point of view, there will be many circuits. There will be one circuit that creates green light, another circuit that creates normal light. There will be another circuit that deals with heating and air, fan. Another circuit that deals with the lights for the stage and at the entrance. There are different circuits. In the same way, in the brain, there are different circuits. And if I use the board, you will see on your device. I don't know if it is going to work here. Yeah, sure. If you imagine one circuit is called the circuit of nutrition. And as an example, the dog. You keep some food in front of him, and you will see from his behavior, from his movement of the tail, he's thinking of the food. He's have salivating. And at the brain level, there will be certain part of the brain that is involved in this, and that is called circuit dealing with nutrition. There is another circuit, maybe defense. Same dog is eating food, and suddenly he hears some sound at the door. Some stranger is at the door, knocking at the window. Immediately, you will see his ears going up and his tail going up, and he is sort of ready to bark, ready to bite. He goes, it's, in that second, different circuit takes over. Same animal, as if behaves completely differently, and he is not interested in the food. He works at another level. Something else going on during that time, and I'm just trying to organize this. If I can get this working. So that is called a defense circuit. And then whilst he's in the defense, something else happens, another dog comes, there's a female dog, his thinking is different now. He's sort of not interested in the defense. He's running after the female dog. And his movements, his thinking, his movement of the tail, it all tells that different circuit is in action. That may be called reproductive circuit. So these different circuits are there in the brain. You can see this. And same thing with the human beings. We have got these different circuits working. Then these different circuits have their part to play, and in some situations we will be behaving in one way, and our whole mindset is of a one kind. It is literally can be the nutrition circuit, thinking about food, eating food, cooking food. We look at the food, so different digestive juices are also secreted in the body. Another time, something situation comes, you are into fight mode, defense mode. And but we may have other circuits in our human society. One circuit may be a work circuit. We are into some mindset of now I'm going to work, and the same person is thinking differently, is a lot of doing his duty, and he's in the work circuit. And another circuit we have, and that is, we'll call it play circuit. And we will be going into this in more detail today, and what it means. This play circuit. So I will be using the PowerPoint. Let us see all this technology, if it works. I'm just skipping some of these slides and I'm coming to this slide on the brain. And we are going to see that over the last 50 years, lots of very, very interesting work is done to study brain. And one simple thing we know about brain, we got these two hemispheres, left and the right. It is shown here in the diagram, they are equal, but actually the left side is slightly bigger than the right in mass. So it sort of pushes, left side has developed more somehow. And the left side, as you see here, has got certain functions which are very specific, analysis, logic, language, science, mathematics. These functions happen on the left side. And there are certain functions that happen on the right side. And these functions, as we are seeing here, synthesis. Synthesis is the opposite of analysis. Analysis, you go into details and details. Synthesis, you make sense of something, see the essence of something. That's intuition is on the right side. Creative thoughts are on the right side. Coming with new ideas, understanding patterns. Faces means recognizing faces. You see someone, you recognize him, and during those times, right side neurons are in action. Now, I often ask the question, what is the common pattern? What is the common thing in the left side functions? And what is the common in the right side functions? You will see, and you want to guess, you can type. What do you see? What is the common in the left side function? What makes it the left brain activity? And what is it that is common on the right side? Even those who heard it before, you can answer.
Prashant,
Yes.
there is quote, logic and thought, and this refers to left side.
Sure. And right side? Sure. So let us see. In science language or in computer language, they say left side can be called serial processing. And opposed to that, right side is called parallel processing. And what this means, on the left side, all functions, they are step by step by step. Language is a good example. One sentence followed by the next sentence, followed by the next. Whereas right side functions parallel. You get an idea, it happens in 1 second. You meet someone, you recognize him, that happens in 1 second. All these are like a 1 second functions, parallel. Another way to understand this difference, left side there is expansion. Science is a good example. You go into the details and details of details. For example, you try to understand matter. You want to know the molecules, okay? Then you want to know what is within the molecule and atoms and what is within atoms. You go into the details of details. That is left brain function. And right, you hold on to the essence. So what we are saying here, these two sides, nature has produced these two sides, and that nature has made it like that for a reason. And these are like two wings of a bird. When the bird has two wings, bird can fly and achieve the best. If the bird has only one very strong wing and there is no other wing, bird cannot fly. It can flap around but cannot fly. What we are saying here is, if the education system understands or incorporates this understanding in the students, then you will find, as adults, they will achieve excellence. If this is not incorporated, if it is in an imbalanced education system, then you flap around, but you cannot fly. You will not be able to achieve excellence. So good for us to ask. I know in Finland, you got a very good education system, but still you may have to ask, is there a balance? Is it paid attention? Are the right side functions encouraged the same as the left side? And if that is done, there will be much greater success as adults. Here is an example. Do you recognize this face? It is a portrait of Newton, Isaac Newton. He was the master of Trinity College here in Cambridge. And at a young age, he got lots of these inventions and ideas. They came up at the age of 26, 27. And his handwritten notes are there in Trinity College library. And there are some scholars who have access to these handwritten notes. And he has lots of things written of the spiritual nature. His physics is in published, but even more is written in the form of another aspect. He calls it ancient wisdom, sapienza, ancient wisdom. And he talks about cyclical nature of time in these notes. So many aspects he writes. And you realize that here is a person who was, on one hand, he was a scientist, but at the same time, he was very much balanced on the right side. You might say science is left side, the function. Some other scientists, that of today, they might say, I'm a scientist, I don't want to know anything about, spirituality. Whereas here is a father of science, and he says in his notes, he writes that the spiritual side is just as important for him in his world, and achieves excellence. It is another big name in the world of science. You all can recognize Albert Einstein. And this is a statement by Einstein: science without religion is lame. He also says religion without science is blind. As we said, religion is sort of considered as the right brain function. It is more intuitive. It is not something that you can see in the laboratory. But here is a father of modern science, Einstein. He says science without religion is lame. Now, big question for you. When in our lives are we naturally balanced? The answers that you have to answer, but the answer that is, we have to not answer sleep or whenever the person is unconscious, when something is shut down, that is not what we are talking about. During the conscious phase, when are we balanced? Conscious person. Make a guess. You can type your answers. When in our lives are we naturally balanced? Not the meditation, because not everyone, they are learning meditation. But even those who are not learning meditation, those who don't know, when are we, everyone is involved in our daily routine. When are we balanced?
There are no replies yet, but let's see. Anyone? When there is an answer now, when we are natural, when we are enjoying life.
Sure. Now let us see what is shown here.
When we are relaxed.
When we are relaxed. When we play, that is like a very interesting phenomenon to be observed. When we play, something very interesting happens in our life. What is written here in small letters? Natural instinct of a child up to the age of 8 years is play. They see everything that they see as a potential toy. If they come to a house and if they see a chair and table, they say, okay, let us make a den with this. So they want to play. Life is. So what happens in a brain that is balanced? Here we are seeing when we play. Imagine right now you are told you are not going to have a talk. It is Sunday, you want to relax, not another talk and PowerPoint presentation. But we are going to make 2 teams and we are going to play a game. The moment you hear this, oh yes, play a game, immediately these are the feelings that will come in your mind. Oh, it is going to be just a game. It really doesn't matter whether you win, lose. It is fun. You accept whether you win or lose, because it is just a half an hour game. It doesn't affect your life. You see the bigger life, so half an hour, no problem. It is not serious, and you love those who play against you, and there is acceptance. Now you are going to play, and left side kicks in, left side of the brain, and you want to win, and you want to score as much as possible. You are using your skills, and you say it is serious. You really mean to win. You are the one who said it is not serious. And same you are saying it is serious at the same time. This is the paradox. And that is fascinating for us. You are saying it is not serious, and at the same time, you are saying it is serious. So it is almost can be considered we are as if two individuals in one. Left brain, right brain gives you an insight that we are two-brained beings, or as if there are two individuals thinking in a different way, but that is when you get a game. In no other activity, there is such a paradox. Like we said, there is a nutrition circuit, and there is a reproduction circuit, and there is a defense circuit, and we said there's a work circuit. This is the only time when you are seeing this paradox, when you are playing. And it makes it fascinating for everyone. Psychologist and neurologist, it should be fascinating. So the left side deals with all the details and expansion and the skills and hard work, all this, whilst the right side holds that space, higher space. It holds the holistic map. It has not forgotten that it is a game, and it is not serious, and there is a life beyond the game. He has not forgotten that. And whilst on the left side is going into details and skills and every other details. When there is balance like that, then there is a game, and there's fun. Here I'm going to say, Wimbledon Central Court. And it has happened many times, and you might have seen in your life also. But here I'm showing a scene in 2001 when the player who reaches finals, so he has got skills to reach the finals of Wimbledon. And he was not able to serve a single serve. Every serve was hitting the net, and so he himself knew and everyone else knew. He was nervous. So what happened? How can a person who reaches finals couldn't serve at all? Anyone else could have won the game. He was in such a situation. What really happens all along, as when he was playing, he said, it is fun, it is a play. So the right side was strong, and the left side that deals with skills, he can use the skills. So both wings are working well. When he reaches finals, the right side said, now this is not fun, this is finals. So right side got paralyzed. Right side, is not seeing the holistic map. Suddenly the game became more important than life. Lost the perspective. We said the right side, it holds that space. And then you can go into the detail. And now the left side, it goes into play, but if there is no right wing, you cannot use the left wing either. He got skills, he is happy to work hard, but the right wing is not there. And so you cannot use the left wing. And so you lose. Let us know if you want to ask anything. Here I am giving another example. This is a road. It is a pavement in a park, 2 meters broad, 100 meters long. And you are asked to walk from one end to other end. And you are happy to do that. And you can run also if you want. And you can ride a bicycle on it also. Strict condition, don't go beyond the pavement. just stay within the 2-meter pavement, and you can do that. Now, the same pavement here is at a height of 1,000 meters above sea level, connecting two mountains. You can see that bridge across the two mountains, and there are no side railings, just the bridge, just a pavement. Just as in the other park you saw, there is just a pavement, there are no side railings. And now, can you ride your bicycle? Are you happy to run? Can you cross that bridge? And you might find you might crawl. You don't want to. Even crawling may be difficult. You might not even want to try. What happened? Suddenly you said, that is serious. Right brain took it, and this right brain is paralyzed. And when you say it is serious, you cannot use your left wing either. It may be 1,000 meters above sea level, or it may be 1 meter above sea level. If your right brain is paralyzed, if you are not using the right wing, you will find you cannot use your left wing.
Prashant?
Yeah.
There is a question. How does this relate when there are some who are to some degree brain damaged? How does this relate then, this theory?
You know what happens is brain compensates. Even if there is damage, say to the right brain, then part of the left brain does the function of the right brain. That goes on. Same way, other way around. We are talking here the functions, the right and the left. Even though we are using brain as a method to explain, these functions happen at another level as well. These functions happen at a subtle level. Brain is used. Yeah. Does that answer? Does that help?
I think so. Let's see. No more comments in the chat, so I think it's sufficient.
One very interesting observation. One student here in Sheffield, there are many cases like this, and they had hydrocephalus. Hydrocephalus means the fluid is created in the brain. That's why those who are mongoloid children, they have a hydrocephalus. Birth defect, so the brain is abnormal. And this student, he got A grade. He reached a level where he did his graduation with the top score, distinction. And after his death, when they studied his brain, the brain had 90% deformity because of hydrocephalus. Only 10% of the brain was there, but it was able to do the job and to the level of getting graduation. And no one realized this is what is happening at the level of the brain. So there are no answers, there is no explanation, and science cannot explain this either. We are talking about 90% of the brain is non-existent. Only thin layer of brain is there in this hydrocephalus, and he was able to compete with others who have normal brain. But there are many other cases. I'm giving this example because of his achievements in academic field, and the cases of similar nature. You want to say anything else? Any other comments? So what we are saying here, that at present, we are not strong on the right side. And it's just like the one, he doesn't cross the pavement, or he want to crawl, even though he can run, but when he is not using the right wing, he cannot use the left wing either, and he ends up crawling. Instead of being able to walk or run, he crawls. In the same way, at present, when we are imbalanced, we lead a handicapped life. And we are handicapped emotionally, intellectually, and physically, which we don't even know how handicapped we are. Only when we discover our normal, then we realize our handicap. If we were to be balanced, very balanced, what will happen? Say in this life, not just in one game, in our life, if we were balanced, what will be the attitude? We will, let us see the right side functions. We will see this life itself is like a game. And we will know the life beyond this. And this life has got a beginning and end. Everything has limits. And there will be attitude. Nothing really matters. Small things will not be blown up. You accept victory, defeat, know the reality beyond. See the bigger map. Not serious. You will have this attitude at practical level in this world. But does it mean you are ignoring this life? No, the left side kicks in. So one who is very balanced in this, he's not going to the monastery and saying that nothing matters and life doesn't matter. No, he is playing to win. He is very involved. He has got high goals, and he uses his past experiences. He uses all this in this life. For example, he might say, let us make our town into the best place on the planet. He might come with his ideas. Okay, best and he might sort of take steps how that town can be made into the best place on the planet. He might take steps, and other people might come with skills, talents, and it might happen. Maybe it might not happen. No one wants to cooperate. They say not possible. Then no problem. He knows to take defeat also. He's in a game. He plays to win. He also knows how to lose, how to fall, and he starts again. He says, let me start in another town. And he plays the game, and he wants the other place to take it on. So things happen like this. He might say for himself, he's happy to go for some political position or whatever, to start the new company, new ideas. He thinks in a big way. And in the process, he's prepared to lose. In the one who is not strong on the right side, what he will do, he will say, I better not introduce myself to the president, because I might get rejected. And so he failed even before he started. The one who is strong on the right side, he has confidence in himself. He is happy. He knows he's got something precious to offer to the president. He knocks on the doors. The president, he wants to give them what he got. And maybe the president doesn't want to entertain this idea. That is also okay. He is happy to start in next country, Sweden. He knows the place to win. He knows how to fall. He knows to start again. He's in a game. If that balance is not there, person is too sensitive. He minds slightest criticism, slightest failure, they become so big for him in the game, and he ends up doing nothing. You need to watch on YouTube. You get one video of Pele, Brazilian player, is 10 goals. That is one video. And what happened? What used to happen when Pele used to play? There were some players dedicated just to block Pele. So you see, ball comes to Pele, and Pele throws it in the air. There are some players blocking him, some players. He throws it in the air, runs behind all these players. He knows exactly where that ball is going to land, and he's there to collect the ball. And he bypasses all the players. There are some players who are blocking him, some are pushing him, some are pulling him. He has no time even to think why they are pulling him, why they are pushing him. He is focused to the destination, and he solves all the obstacles. He solves them very quickly and goes to the goal and fun. Sees it all as fun. The same is our life. Life, there will be someone will push you, someone will pull you, someone blocks you. Does it happen in Finland? Maybe it doesn't happen much in Finland. Everybody here, oh yes, we make easy. Is it like that?
I think it happens everywhere, yeah?
Yeah. So if one is in that space, then we need to take decisions. We have to solve. We need powers. We need the virtues. You need all these. We have all these, but you will be using all those skills and talents and details if you yourselves are at another level, working with different circuit. If you are in a work circuit, then it is a different game. It is, you are not playing. You are not sorry. You are busy, comparing, complaining. Something else is going on there. But when you are in the play circuit, you don't have time to complain. You solve it. You have to solve it within seconds, and you have to get to the goal and score and celebrate. We had one mathematician here in Cambridge, but he's from Chicago. Name is Louis Hoffman. He and his wife, they come here from time to time for their academic, you know, some posting, few months. And he was saying he has got one job in Chicago with some company. He works for the university, but one day in a week or one session, 3 hours in a week, he is working for some company. And what this company does, this company has employed about 10 scientists from different fields, and they all get together in one place and they play during those 3 hours. They are just playing. There are different things for them to play, some strings and wires and the balls and bats, different things, just like children's, little thing. And they play during these 3 hours. They broadly know what the company is working on, what are the new areas, ideas they need. They broadly know this. And maybe the leader of this team brings up the subject of discussion amongst them, connected with the company's projects, but in an environment of play. They are talking about these ideas whilst they are playing, not whilst sitting on the desk. So they are playing, and whilst playing, they're discussing these different ideas. And at the end of the 3 hours, they are writing down what the new insights they got, and they present this, and they go one day in a week, and they get paid for playing. It is very different thinking to another company who might say, we need this new answer to this problem. We got another 2 days to solve. So sit here, you solve it, otherwise here is a gun. If you don't get an answer, you will be out of the company. And that is another way of doing things. Here, what they are using is the play circuit. Most people in this Olympics, you hear this name. Some people say mental health problem. What has happened? Even the play is converted into the work. They have changed it. They are paid for their playing, and they have to get a gold medal, because they are getting paid so much. So they are put under stress to do this, and the play is changed into a war. We can be in a war circuit. Sometimes a person just driving to his work, maybe not in Finland, some other countries, and they may be in a war circuit in their brain. They have to reach before some other people, and they are into some kind of a battle. I think I'm talking too much. I will stop here, and let me hear some thoughts from you, some questions also, and we'll create time for some meditation.
Thank you, Prashant. Yes, time is running, unfortunately. It would be lovely to hear more and more. However, there is a question, perhaps before the meditation. The question is, how would you instruct a person suffering from major depression to strengthen the right side of the brain if the person cannot even get up from the bed in the morning? What would you advise?
Sure. Now, in the sketch we are showing here, that is meant for everyone, whether it is one depressed or not depressed. How do we help anyone to develop the right side? What is shown here, that blue box that you are seeing, that represents our world. And to make it into a game, we have to see the bigger map. So his model is that he is a traveler in this world. He is from timeless world. He himself is the invisible player. Invisible player is the invisible traveler. He comes in this game, as you see there, that is extra. He doesn't need it. He doesn't need anything. The whole thing is like a PlayStation. His world is a separate world. Once he has this model, this positioning, then it becomes a game instantly. And this applies, first we have to try it for ourselves. More we play with it and understand this, then we may be able to help others who want to. It is not that we heard this right brain and instantly we get into the play circuit. No, we need to create some time to experiment with it. And so we have to start this process in ourselves. Create minutes to play with it. See the bigger map. Old habit within us is we are so locked into that box, and that's why we are imbalanced. Here we are removing the blinkers. Horse with his blinkers, removing the blinkers, seeing the bigger, to play with it for even minutes. And as we do that, we discover we are secure. And when we are secure, all these other feelings follow. And the richness of the heart and the richness of the head follows. You discover your own best. That fun energy comes in. So this happens to everyone, whether it is whatever our background. Some are depressed, some are not depressed, some have some problems, health problem. We all are different. Some get it. It is like a spiritual intelligence is another thing. Some get it and they may fly with it very quickly. Even with all the good life and health, some might not get it. It's not based upon being depressed or not. They may be very sensible, but still they may not get it. They may get it another time, but not today. But at least we should try. If we understand the potential, we should try ourselves.
Thank you, Prashant. Now, Prashant, could you give us a couple of minutes meditation exercise? The time is running, it's 5 to now, but there's still definitely time for meditation.
Sure.
Thank you.
So that image that we saw just now, that is very useful. We can remind ourselves that we have the spiritual sight. And with this sight, we see things differently. We are able to see the whole physical world as a great PlayStation, a grand station, PlayStation. So everything that happened today within this PlayStation, there's a lot going on. And who are dealing with this PlayStation? Invisible players. Invisible players are associated with this. The invisible players are also the invisible travelers. They are guests. These invisible players, totally carefree, because they got their world beyond. And their world is safe and secure, timeless, changeless, endless. They come in the physical level. As we continue on our journey, we remember the beautiful truth. Remember this option of seeing this world so differently. Thank you.
Thank you, Prashant. Thank you very, very much. Thank you for all attendees as well.